I was in college. I was on Craigslist all the time. And if you remember back in the day, you had to unlock phones if you wanted to use them on different carriers. Well, one day I'm on Craigslist and I notice, a locked iPhone is worth $300, but an unlocked iPhone is worth $350 to $400. And then I went to eBay and I saw people selling iPhone unlocks as a service for $5. So I thought, $5 to increase the value of your phone by $50 to $100. That's interesting. So I went and bought 2 domain names. And you can still go to the Wayback Machine or the Web Archive and see the original versions of these sites from like 17 years ago. It was $10unlocks.com and $20unlocks.com. And what did I do? I spent hours and days building this elaborate scraping tool to go to Craigslist, scrape every single iPhone listed worldwide that was locked to a carrier: Verizon, T-Mobile, Sprint, and AT&T. And then I would scrape their email address and send them an email or a text that said, hey, I see you're selling an iPhone on Craigslist. I see that it's locked. Did you know it's worth $50 to $100 more if it was unlocked? Just so happens I can do that for you at $10unlocks.com. And the second version of that message was the exact same, except at $20unlocks.com. I just wanted to know how many more people are willing to pay $20 versus $10. It was an A/B test. It took me way too long to get this kind of gimmick up and running, but once it was, I was making money in my sleep. Literally making money in my sleep, because I created an automation where someone would go to my website, check out, they would put in the IMEI, which is like the serial number, the IMEI number of their phone. It would send that to a guy on eBay that I just messaged and said, hey, can you just bill me like once a week? I'm going to send you a bunch of IMEIs and then I'll pay you $5 per at the end of the week. He said, sure. I would send them all to that guy and then he would unlock the phone within an hour. And I didn't have to do anything. I didn't have any customer support, no follow-up. I just started making 10 and $20 at a time. And I was making hundreds of dollars a day in pure profit. Now, as all good growth hacks go, this eventually died and went the way of all of my other creative growth hacks. But that taught me something very valuable, and that's scraping is profitable. A couple of years later, I started an iPhone parts wholesaling business. Where did I get all my customers? I scraped 20,000 iPhone repair shops, every single iPhone repair shop in the United States in 2012. And then I had virtual assistants start cold calling them. And I turned that into a business worth over $10 million that I eventually sold in 2019. Scraping. So a lot of what I do starts with a scrape. And there's a lot of really slick tools out there that enable you to scrape just about anything without any coding experience. But Craigslist was always a tough nut to crack. And don't listen to people that say Craigslist is dead, Facebook Marketplace killed Craigslist, because everyone can look. It's still getting millions of views every month. Just because you're not using it doesn't mean no one's using it. So let's talk about how to scrape Craigslist with a super easy tool that I wish I had 15 years ago when I built this myself. And then let's talk about exactly what to scrape, how to make money, how to get creative, how to do cold outreach to all these people. So the tool in question is Oxylabs. It's basically scraping plus AI equals very easy scraping for the non-technical person like me. Now, they do have some parts of their website that can be more complex if you're more technically minded, but I'm going to go to oxylabs.io/TKOpod because only there can I just type a simple prompt and have it scrape stuff for me. There may be other tools that do what I'm about to show you, but I've never used them. I have no idea if they exist or if they're any good, whereas this is one I use regularly. Once I'm here, I'm going to click on AI Scraper. Now, over here in this other tab, I'm going to pull up Craigslist, specifically the Dallas Craigslist, because that's where I live. And before I talk about my ideas, I just want to start ideating, right? I just want to start browsing Craigslist as a user and see what comes to mind. And I'll walk you through kind of how my weird brain looks at this. I'm going to start by going to For Sale, Household. Okay, you got someone selling a blender listed 10 minutes ago, 21 minutes ago, 21 minutes ago, 38 minutes ago. You can see that this is very active. This is one of hundreds of different sections of Craigslist in just one of hundreds, if not thousands of Craigslist markets. And people are posting every 5 to 15 minutes. Now, this is mostly just crap. People are selling stuff. You do see some people offering services, countertops, flooring, etc. Richard Petty Wheaties box. So that makes me think, I should build some sort of an agent that can cross-reference stuff on Craigslist with eBay, because maybe there's some arbitrage to be found. And if you're not familiar with arbitrage, it basically means finding something at a specific price over here and selling it for a higher price over there. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in one of the most legendary keywords ever for any marketplace, and that is need Gone. Those are the desperate, motivated sellers. Parakeets, bed frame, cool. A lot of this stuff is probably free, or they'll pay you to take it, like in the case of a piano. Now I'm going to search wanted. Now, remember, if someone is posting to a marketplace with the word wanted, they're saying, take my money. I want to spend money on something. So then what you need to do is go find the seller for that thing. You've got a buyer, which is usually the hard part. You need to go find a seller. Why not do that at scale with an automation? You can't build an automation until you scrape the supply side of the marketplace, which in this case is Craigslist. Another thing you can do, oh man, this is giving me all kinds of ideas, is find both the buyers and the sellers on Craigslist. This guy right here. Small and large motorcycles wanted in any condition. So this guy's wanting to pay money for small and large motorcycles. Why? He probably flips them. Cool. Will he pay you to source them for him? Most likely, especially if he can still make a profit on his flip. So what's stopping you from scraping and doing cold outreach to every marketplace you can find to find motorcycles and to send the leads his way? Like, you don't want to be in the motorcycle buying business, but you could certainly be in the, hey, every time I send you a lead, it's going to be $5 business, right? I'll swipe your card every time I send you a lead. That guy's wanting to buy old dimes and quarters. This guy's buying pinball machines. Freaking awesome. There's just so many little side hustles going on in here, but I'm getting distracted. So let's lock in. Let me show you how to scrape this stuff. Okay. So to scrape Craigslist, I want to start with a active category where people are actively transacting, right? I don't want to go on the misconnections or the rideshare or the discussion forums. Obviously, we're going to the for sale category, not the subcategories, household, farm equipment, etc. Just the entire for sale category. We're going to copy the URL. Then we're going to go back to this AI scraper and we're going to paste the URL right there. We're going to choose a location for the scraper server, basically, United States, because that's where I am. Render JavaScript, I do know that I want to check always, okay? Now, schema. Provide your own schema or generate schema. What a schema is, I think, is like the output format of the data. What do I want to scrape exactly? Prices, listings, the name of the person listing it, the email of the person listing it. There's a zillion things we could scrape. Generate schema. We're going to paste all those. So this is basically going to scrape every single thing that's scrapable. Generate schema, scrape and parse. And it is 339. Let's see how long this bad boy takes. Okay, 340. Took about a minute. We'll download this. We will put it in the spreadsheet. All right, this is beautiful. You are going to love this. So we'll remove all the old stuff, paste in the new stuff, and look at all this. Okay, nothing here because there's no map. True, if there's a picture, all of these have pictures. Location, which Craigslist refers to as hood. Cool. You even have the timestamp of when it was posted right there, the price, tags, if any, the title of the item, and the URL of the item, which it seems to work just fine. Now, you know what? Just for fun, let's go back to ChatGPT and say, hey, at first glance, which of these items are underpriced? Where can I make money? Okay. Very likely underpriced. You got a battery here for $60. Says it could be worth 100 to 150. Sony 24 70 millimeter lens, 1650. That usually clears 1900 to 2100. So right off the bat, I'm thinking, oh, I could just flip stuff. First of all, what is stopping me or you or anyone from just taking all this stuff that we scraped from Craigslist and listing it as if we already own it to Facebook Marketplace? Not in an unethical way, not because we're trying to scam people or mislead people, but to gauge demand. Oh, this Sony lens is $1,000 on Craigslist. I think I can get it for $800 and I think it's worth $1,200. Boom. Let's say we get it for $900. We meet in the middle. Go to Facebook Marketplace. You list it for $1,400. You settle on $1,200. You just made $300 profit simply by buying from one platform and selling on another. This is 1,000% realistic and doable, and people do it all day, every day. It's called retail arbitrage. People will go to Walmart. They'll see something on the clearance rack, 40% off. They'll scan it with an app. Then they'll look on Amazon and see, oh, wow, this thing is $113 at Walmart, but these sell for $225 on Amazon. I'm just going to list it real quick from my phone and then I'll buy it. Or I'm going to come back and buy it only once it sells. So I'm out of pocket $0. I'm not inventing retail arbitrage. I'm just showing you a new way to do it. So you might not know this, but this isn't my real channel. My full channel is linked below or right here. Go check that out for full episodes.